Hey Steno peeps, Jen back with a new dictation. We're going to be doing part 2 of the hesitation sentences. This is a whole new list of words, phrases, and briefs that I've incorporated into sentences for you. But before we begin, I do have some briefs to give you so you know what the actual hesitation phrase is. So the first one would be true and accurate, and I write that T-R-A-T. The second one is training and experience, and I write that T-R-A-E-U-R-P-S. The third one is domestic violence, and that is T-K-O*F-P-L-S. The next one is were you wearing your seatbelt? That is P-R-U-B-S. That one might not make sense to you if you don't use Magnum Steno, but PR is were for us on the left-hand side. All right, so there's no particular speed to these. You can set the speed controller to your own liking, and let's dive in. The report must be true and accurate to be admissible in court. I still haven't received the invoice for the last month's services. The atmosphere in the courtroom was tense, almost palpable. She decorated the tree with homemade ornaments, each one telling a story. The tension between them was so thick it felt almost tangible. The guy is not just smart, he's genuinely handsome too. He won't even acknowledge how serious the situation is. The logistic nightmare of organizing a cross-country move had her stressed. As a brand ambassador, he had to be enthusiastic and well-spoken. The reticular pattern on the snake's skin was both beautiful and eerie. The officer reached for his taser when the suspect began to flee. She's incredibly articulate. Her arguments are always clear and persuasive. The lawyer's articulation of the facts left no room for doubt. His drawing was less of a portrait and more of a cruel caricature. With her training and experience, she handled the crisis with grace. The lawsuit involved complex pecuniary damages. He used elevated vocabulary to sound smarter, but it came off as pompous. She's majoring in literature, which explains the stacks of books everywhere. The officer had to intervene in a domestic violence situation late last night. Her ambivalence about the decision was clear. She kept changing her mind. He's always pessimistic, expecting the worst in every scenario. The government provided a subsidy to support struggling farmers. It's normal to feel sad after a breakup, but most people eventually rebound. His speech was full of emotional rhetoric, but lacked solid facts. That question was purely rhetorical. She didn't actually expect an answer. The officer asked, "Were you wearing a seatbelt at the time of the accident?" I went in for an oil change and came out with a list of repairs I didn't know I needed. It's ironic how she hates drama, yet always finds herself in the middle of it. Despite his charming rhetoric, his actions told a different story. Her articulation of the legal argument left the jury visibly impressed. The ambassador spoke with great pride about her country's cultural traditions. His ambivalence toward the job offer was understandable. It meant moving across the country. After years of training and experience, she finally opened her own practice. There's a reticular formation in the brain that's essential for consciousness. The pecuniary incentives weren't enough to justify the ethical compromises. The mechanic said, "You're overdue for an oil change. Your engine's begging for mercy." It was ironic that the fire station burned down during the safety awareness event. The tangible excitement in the air made it hard to sit still. All right, that's a wrap on part 2 of the hesitations playlist. If you have any hesitation words you would like me to be incorporating into these sentences, you can drop them below in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.